Hi, welcome back to IT Landy Naked Courses. Today I'm gonna show you how to build a test environment using Hyper-V on a Windows machine like Windows 10, and then we can use it to carry out some basically AD migration and raising the function level from the earlier release. So I'm gonna start with installing Windows Server 2003. You have a couple of options. Either click new and you give it a machine name and then you go through the ISO. This is the basic one. Or you can go through the, instead of the quick create, you can go to new and virtual machine option. And then on this, you can specify the name. In this scenario, I'm going to use WS 2003, or let's we call it Win SRV 2003. And I'm going to leave everything as a default, the location for the uh, virtual machine. If you would like it to be installed somewhere else rather than C drive program data, Microsoft, Windows, Hyper-V, then you can change that location by ticking that tick box and amend it. But I'm just going to leave it wherever it is. Next, I'm going to leave it generation 2 because it's 2003 and you can see supporting 32-bit and 64-bit guest operating systems, which means no secure boot up. Be careful when you create this. For the 2016, you might start using generation 2, same thing with 2012 if you're supporting secure boot up. If there's no requirement for secure boot up and supporting anything legacy like 32-bit and 64-bit OS with legacy systems hardware, then go for generation 1. I'm going to leave it a startup memory a gig with dynamic allocation. You can change it later on if you wish to. Next, would you like to connect your switches? I've got two switches, internal and external. The name of my internal, it is INT, where I'm going to use it later on to communicate between that server or the domain controller and the other domain controller. So the intention is to migrate, I'm going to create a single label domain on 2003 as a domain controller, and later on we will just basically migrate it. But for now, to start with, we're going to install Windows Server 2003, and later on we're going to promote it to a domain controller. Next to this, location, I'm going to leave it wherever it is, which is C, user, public, document, Hyper-V, virtual disk. This is the same location. I've put all the installation files there. If you want to use an existing one, this is where you can browse. And in my scenario, I do have already an existing VHD which I downloaded from Microsoft. It is a trial version. Otherwise, you can go for option 1 and then you create it and then you install it that way rather than attach an existing virtual disk. Or you can have the option to attach it later on. So I'm going to use an existing one. I'm going to browse to that same location and you can see there's a Windows 2003 option. I'm going to go to the folder and there's a VHD there disk. Let's have a look and say open that one and you can see I'm browsing to it. Next, it's reviewing to all the settings, location, and the option you have selected. If you are happy with this, then you say finish, and that will create for you the Windows Server 2003 image. Now, the second part is now to boot up with that image. Let's have a look if that will work, because if I touch a disk, an existing disk, you can do right click and you can do start, yeah, or you can use the highlight again, sorry, on the right hand side, connect. You see Windows Server 2003, connect, settings, upgrade, start, checkpoint, all these options for Hyper-V. They're not part of what we do today. Today is all about installing the Server 2003 and then promote it to a DC. So either right click or click start. It is starting. It's supposed to attach a disk. So what you need to do next, you can see it's here in the lower corner. It is doing something, and you can see the configuration version generation and what's happening. So I'm just going to go double click just to open the console and have a look better than looking at the taskbar underneath. So I've attached a disk which I downloaded from the internet. Let's see, have from Microsoft basically. Let's have a look if I need a license, because I do not have a license for Server 2003. Now it seems like it's trying to prepare for the first start. Let's have a look. and then we'll resume as soon as I'm just gonna pause it and resume as soon as the system start up here. It is an enterprise. You can see that we're back. It's an enterprise. If you've seen the screen, and it's preparing Windows Server 2003. It's been a long time since I utilized it, but the reason for me arranging this a couple of videos just to show you how you can create single SDL, single domain label domain SLD, and how you can move away to fully qualified domain later on, because Microsoft recommendation not to use a single label domain, which means here it is. I've got an product key associated with it, which is really great if it's working, and it seems it's working, which is right. This is really nice. And we are next, and this is an evaluation copy that you verify computer date and time setting are correct. So we click OK, and we check them later on, yeah, to make sure it's fine. So January 2018, 10th, yes, it's correct, time is correct. And if you want to change the time zone, I'm using London, you can choose other time zone work for you. This is the automatic synchronization with internet time server. You can update it to wherever you want, but for us it's a very basic exercise, yeah. Okay, and voila, we got an evaluation copy with Service Pack 2. I mean, if you want to continue utilizing this, then you can use your own key, product key. I mean, this has saved me a lot through going that installation of 2003. So at least when Surface Pack Drive, failed during the startup, which is fine. So here it is. We got a server, and you can click Control Alt Delete, and otherwise you can escape, and you go to the toolbar, clipboard, and say you can type, capture, you can do media, either injecting, and you can do Control Alt Delete, switch off, on, save it. So I'm just gonna click on Control Alt Delete to log on to that machine. So admin, and the password is supposed to be admin straight as well. Let me try it, see if that works. And it seems it doesn't. So let's check again. What is the password? Here we are back. So the password is for that evaluation copy. It's evaluation 1. So minimize, 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 and here we go. We're back. See if we can paste it here, and seems not. So let's type key the password again. It's evaluation uh, evaluation 1. Okay, so yeah, it's evaluation 1. Let's just type it evaluation 1, and let's log on, and here it is. We are in. So let's have a look what we got there. And we are back here. So back to where we were before, and again, it's been a long time since I installed a 2003, but here it is. When you install it, and you have options to update the servers and do all these updates. So I'm just going to finish it, because for me today is all about you know uh, installing, attaching, and migrating. So I've got Service Pack 2, and we just go back. Hey, we're back. So there was some spam call. Anyway, here's my server with Service Pack. I'm just gonna basically finish this one and do that later on. Would you like we choose this page, inbound connection, internet, all of these? Yes, I'm just gonna close it, and I'll do that one later on. The update, finish this one, not right now. um, would you like to install, all this missing updates? I'm just gonna say, okay, maybe later on, next 30 days I've got trial. Okay, not this moment. Thank you, and close it. Okay, cancel this one. So what I would like to do now, I would like to do DC promo, because the exercise here for us is to go to run command, and we run the, let me just grab that one outside so you can see it. Yeah, it's here, and go back again. Now go evaluation copy. So DC promo, and click OK. So we're gonna promote our Windows Server 2003 to a domain controller. I mean, before that one, to promote any server to a domain controller, you need to do the prereq, and part of the prereq is that we need to assign an IP address, static IP address, and do this all this pre requirement configuration. Yeah. So I'm just going to go and assign IP address to my next, just to start with. Having said that, you still can change it later on, but we're talking about test environment. This is not a production environment. Yeah. So I go there. Next, if there's any network card, no. Let's we have a look what we got there. Admin tool, open, and I'm after the network settings, and where is this one here? Network, and routings, and okay, let's we have a look, and it is somewhere here. So let's have a look. If I assign the network card to my Windows server, so I go right click settings, any next there. Yeah, I've got network adapter, it is attached, and I might need another one. So what I will be doing, because I'm using the old template, you see it's grayed out, which means I might need to switch it off, be able to add another NICs. This is different from the new templates. Yeah, I've got an adapter here assigned, but it seems and to the switch attach. So let's click OK, go back here, and let's we have a look into our properties. Okay, what we got here? Classic menu for the server, and start again. Setting network connection. Let's see, and I don't have even next there, but let's we go. Say connect my workplace, dial up or advanced. Let's we go for advanced. Accept incoming connection, and we need to go another machine, host, and okay to this. Yeah, and you can see there is no NICs here, so I'm going to cancel it, and we will do the network card again to make sure I've got a network card on that machine. Yep. So cancel this one just to make sure there's a NICs on it. Start, and let's we just go to cd and shut down. Yep. /r. Before that one, I'm just going to change the password. I fancy changing the password. Admin tool, then computer management, and we go to the local account, users, and the administrator. Right click, set password. We're going to give it a different password. Uh, on, and yep, let's have a look if that works. Yep, we change the password, and that's let's just get another user account, and we call it admin, and I'll tell you why later on, just in case. And yep, so we've got another account here. Let's just make that account an administrator. So I'm just gonna go and make it admin. Admin object is not a group, so okay. Administrator. Okay, again, advanced, find all of them, and it seems like, yeah, it is. Let's just remove this one, and there we go. Server name administrator, and maybe leave the, I'm gonna leave the server name. Yeah, I'm not bothered about renaming the server, but if you want to rename it, right click, properties, computer name. It's when 2003, you know, R2 EE, whatever it is. You can change it to whatever you want from here, yeah. And later on, we're going to join the domain. So let's just shut down, restart that server, and we'll see what happened. We can resume later on. And right, we are back. Uh, so I need to, before we DC promo the server, we need to add nick, assign static IP address to it before we utilize it. So making sure properties, and I'm just gonna use 192.168 up dot one, maybe dot one, and 192.168.1.256 or 254, sorry. Let's make that one as a gateway. Otherwise, you can change that one to maybe 1, 1. Yep, gateway is 1, and then maybe server will make it 2. Yep, you can choose whatever you want. DNS will be the host itself, so that will be either you type 127.0.0.1, which is the host itself, yeah, and close it. I'm gonna leave the rest advanced DNS and everything same because this is the first server we're gonna set. Also show them this, and we go to advanced. If you want to change any firewall or your smart card, this is not for today. Okay, here I don't have another card, so I'm not worried about, setting up the priority or stuff like that. Okay, as soon as that finish, we will start our promotion. So here we go to advanced setting, just in case if we have more than one next, but wait for until that finish. And internal communication, it's taking time, and we'll see what happens. While we're okay, it's finished now. It is connected. You can see that one internally. So I've got my machine with IP address. Let's restart DC promo, or promoting the server to a domain controller. DC promo, and that will open for me the domain. As I mentioned earlier, the exercise is to create a domain controller, and then we promote it, and then later on we raise the function level for single label domain, which is, unusual. So next, specify the security requirement, and then the domain controller with new domain. Yes, it's not an existing one, it's a fresh new one. And then it's a new forest. Yes, child domain, no. Domain tree in existing forest, no. So we go for the new forest with a new forest full DNS name. Now with this one, the best practice is supposed to use fully qualified name. So here I'm gonna use SDL, which is single label domain. Yeah, SLD ones. Yeah. So let's we call it ABC, and I'm not gonna use .com whatever with it. So we leave it as it is. On 28 and above is not possible. That's why I'm installing this one. The name ABC include only one label. Most name include more than one label separated by dot. Yeah, you can see the best practice, and you're supposed to use it. Would you like to continue with single label domain DNS? I will say yes, because I'm trying to test it later on and see how that behave under 2016 servers. We know it is not recommended by Microsoft, and you can see that since 2003. But we are not listening to Microsoft recommendation. And same thing with domain bias. I'm just going to leave it as it is. Yeah, ABC, and then C drive for the syslog, FRS, and same thing for the folder application. And if you are happy with everything, diagnostic failed. We got warning here. because it's not happy with the DNS, and therefore to install and configure DNS server on this computer and set this PC to use this DNS as a preferred DNS because it's the first one. Of course, diagnose will fail. You can go through that diagnose, you can see the details about querying the primary DNS, which does not exist. So I'm gonna just ignore it and yes to this one. And permission. Would you like permission compatibility with 2000 and 2003 OS? Yes. Otherwise, you can use the earlier as well, which is anonymous. I'm just gonna go for default and caps on. So caps off. Use the password. Whatever you wanted to do for restoring mode. This is really important because when I do work with customers, a lot of customers they haven't got a clue what is the password, just in case if you do authoritative restore. So you need it. Happy with everything. Have a look at the settings, folder, database folder, log folder, sys folder. Yes, yes, yes. Next, and that should be it. Yeah. We'll wait a couple of minutes till this finish. We'll see what happened now. And as soon as we finish, we'll have a look at the local LSA, and then later on I'll show you how we gonna add the 2008 domain controller and raise the functional level and changing the volume replication from FRS to DFSR. Also, we do the schema prep, AD prep for the new domain. For this exercise, I do not have Exchange server, but maybe later on we will add Exchange servers as well, and I'll show you how we can do two options you have when you move away from uh, single label domain. Now, before we talk about that one, it seems it's needing a Service Pack 2, which I currently do not have. Let's see that. Where can I obtain it? Let me browse. This is a BHD I've downloaded, which means I need to put Service Pack 2. So I'm gonna go and get us a Service Pack 2. So I'm gonna pause this and get us Service Pack 2.